Hey, welcome back to another exciting, head-scratching episode of Insane Disappearances. I am your host for the night as usual, and I am back with another crazy story. If you guys follow Missing 411 Alternative on Facebook, you will know that I posted a video, well not a video, but a picture of a guy named Ian Powers that went missing after a 49ers game, who is from Spokane, I believe it's Spokane something. I'll get into that when I read the story. But anyway, so I posted a picture about that day when I first saw it, and it's been getting a lot of feedback since then. And then but at that time when the story first broke, they didn't have a lot of information. They just said that a man who was at a 49ers game with his girlfriend was supposed to be getting up to go to the bathroom, and he never came back. And he hasn't been seen since. And it had been about a total of 4 days. Now, towards what I found out after that, turns out that they found him, which is a great thing. The only problem was he was dead in a river. Sound familiar? Water deaths. Law, land, air, water, and yeah, so there you have it. Land, air, and water. Water death. Now, there was a part of the story, I think, that they said that in the report he had on socks. They were pristine. Once again, but I'm going to get into the full story so that way you can get a full gist of what this story is all about. So stay tuned. Oh, and I got a real funny story for you towards the end of this broadcast. It's so funny. Very funny. But anyway, you're going to love this. This is hilarious. And I'm going to have a lot of different areas or ideas that lead into why all this happened. It's crazy. One big one, but that'll kind of give you an idea. But anyway, let me get on to the story here. Okay. Alright. Once again, missing 49ers fan accidentally drowned in salt water, coroner says. Okay, now this is the first big situation right here. Once again, in this point in time, the coroners once again mentioned that the person drowned accidentally. You know how many times they say that every time a person is found dead in the water? But yet you don't seem to think it's interesting to know that they had pristine socks on. How is that possible? You had to be dragged in the mud to get to the water. Think about it. Well, we'll get into the rest of this. I don't want to get too far ahead of the story, before you guys know all of it. But once again, like I said, his name is Ian Powers. This was in San Jose, California. It says here that an uncle of the missing 49ers fan posted on Facebook that the body found in a marina over the weekend is that of his nephew, 32-year-old Ian Powers. Honestly, there isn't enough time in life to grieve enough for Ian. Sean Patrick Powers posted on Facebook late Monday night. We are still awaiting the coroner's report for the cause of death. He was found about a mile away from the Alvisto Harbor from the bloating. He had probably been in the water since Monday night. The Santa Clara County's medical examiner confirmed the identification late on Tuesday and said Powers died by saltwater drowning. The coroner also ruled the death an accident. Once again, according to the news release from Santa Clara Police, who have now officially closed Powers' missing persons case. Powers, who was visiting from Washington State, went missing late Monday night during the 49ers versus New York Giants football game. What? New York Giants. See, I don't know if they won or not, because I'm not a football fan, but still, I'm a New Yorker by heart. I was born and raised in Brooklyn. Anyway, so getting back to where I left off at. Monday night, it was a game between the 49ers and 49ers versus. Speaking too fast. 49ers versus New York Giants football game at Levy Stadium. When he never returned from the bathroom, his girlfriend told police. Stadium camera caught Powers exiting the parking lot on foot. His car was found in the stadium parking lot that night. Okay, now this is the part that really gets weird. When these people go out to a place for fun, the ones that are always found in a body of water after the fact, they're always seen walking away from the establishment to their doom. They just don't realize it. Now, the question is, what happens between point A and point B? First of all, you shouldn't even be walking in that direction if you came to the party with friends. Now, it just said that they went to the game. Well, he was at the game. They didn't say how he got there. They just said he was there with his girlfriend. So, obviously, he flew down from Spokane to go to that game in California. So, he took a plane to get there. So, obviously, either he didn't have a rental car or he did. Who knows? Maybe he obviously had friends, or his girlfriend lives there. So, he met up with his girlfriend in California, because that's where she lives. Long distance relationship. Pretty cool. But anyway, so, okay. He flies to California to see his girlfriend. They went to the 49ers game. Obviously, maybe she had a car and they drove to the game. Or maybe she took the trolley, the train, the plane, either way, or a cab, whatever, to get there. I mean, for all I know, they live right around the corner. But the fact is, he walks out like as if he didn't need a ride home. He was going to walk home. I don't know. Maybe the game was over when he walked out. But here's the thing. He was supposed to be going to the bathroom. So, did he just completely forget about what he went there for and then just turn around and went home? Or tried to go home? And in the middle of that, he somehow wound up in some water, miles away from where he was last seen, which is a very clear criteria in all of these missing 411 cases that David Paulides himself has posted, well, not so much posted, but has talked about every single time on Coast to Coast AM. Now, you could say what you think it is all you want. I could say what I think it is all I want. I'm not going to say I know what it is. Well, I could say that because it would be the truth, but it would be my truth because you probably never heard of my truth before. Maybe. But I'm just saying. Don't know why they're doing it. I just know they're doing it. They always seem to be found with no cause of death. They're half naked. They didn't mention the state of the clothes on the body. They didn't say anything about it. The only thing they mentioned was the socks. And I believe the only reason why they mentioned the part about the socks is because they only wanted to mention the small portion of something that weird. Think about it. Every single person has ever been found in a body of water after leaving an establishment like a bar or something like that or a place of fun, they're always found miles away in a body of water, in nothing but their pants, their underwear, and their socks. Everything else is off. Shoes, shirt, jacket if it's cold. And it's always in the middle of the winter or somewhere close, because think about it. We had a game. It's November. They're up north. So it's cold. So why the heck would you take all your clothes off? You say hypothermia does that, but I think that's either what happens. I think that's what happens after you leave a body of water. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know nothing about that. I really don't, so don't quote me on that. I have no idea what hypothermia is all about. I mean, as far as how you get it and all that stuff. All I'm saying is, any sort of thing that they come up with to tell you about what happened to this man, this 32-year-old man, it's just them trying to figure out what happened to him. Because I bet you they didn't know what the cause of death was, so they said, okay, accidental drowning. First of all, you left out all the other stuff, like how did he get way over there in the first place? We're talking about a body of water that is a mile away from the stadium itself. Why would he walk a mile away to a body of water just to drown? I mean, don't you think he would have did that before he went to the game? If it was that serious? If it was a suicide? Of course, they didn't mention that part, but I'm thinking, if he went from the stadium to a body of water and then he was found in the body of water dead, and just your socks. Well, they say he had pristine socks on. That's all they said. They didn't say he had on pants. They saw the video of him wearing pants, obviously, so he had on his pants. They didn't mention the fact that he probably didn't even have his shirt on. Because socks is one thing. Socks you could probably explain. Feet was tired, and a lot of people walk around barefooted. So he probably did that. You know? Okay. Problem solved. Yeah, wait. First of all, they also mentioned the socks were pristine. So if you took your shoes off because your feet were hurting in your shoes, wouldn't your socks be riddled with mud and debris from the ground? Right? That's explainable. But you can't explain pristine socks in the body of water. That means you would have to get from point A to point B. You can't get there without messing up your socks. So how did that happen? That is the question of the day, folks. How did it happen? Furthermore, once again, why were you going from the bathroom to a body of water instead of going back to your girlfriend? Now, before that, I'm pretty sure y'all had some very good times. I mean, you had a game for Pete's sake. You came all the way out there to see your girlfriend from Spokane, dude. Spokane to California. That's a long way. You're literally separated by a freaking ocean. So you're going to go over there to see your girlfriend. That's telling me that he can't be that unhappy for him to just off himself. Something had to have done that. Or something had to have carried him to that point. The question is, what? Another question is, what happened to him between point A and point B for him to end up in the body of water with pristine socks? That means he wasn't even on the ground at the time. He wasn't walking over there. Somehow he got picked up and then he got dropped in the water. It's the only way you can. That's the only way you can sum up what the heck going on with this doggone picture here. They say he had pristine socks on. Why didn't you mention everything else? Like the fact that he had shoes on. Obviously didn't have shoes on, just like all the other cases. He had on his pants. And I bet you, in later reports, if it even gets out, that he didn't even have his shirt on. Or his jersey, right. His jersey. Well, no, it was a t-shirt and a hat. So, I'm just saying. I bet you he didn't have none of those on. They didn't say anything about finding all that stuff either. Like as if he took it off and just took a dive into the water because he just wanted to. I mean, I'm not saying that ain't possible, but you knew how this body of water was. I would think you knew about it, maybe. But what made you want to go over there and jump in it and drown yourself? I mean, up until this point, nobody knew anything about his mental state enough to say that, oh, he's crazy. He's had mental problems his entire life. They didn't mention that. They didn't mention that he was a nice guy either. They just said that he went there to see his girlfriend. Obviously, he must be a pretty nice guy if he came all the way from Spokane to freaking California to see his girlfriend. And they called her his girlfriend. So that means they were girlfriend and boyfriend. They weren't friends meeting up with each other. They were dating from a distance. And there's a picture of a little boy in there, so that might be his son with her. He's probably living with her, maybe. I don't know. So, at what point can you say this young man had a reason to end his life, his physical life? What would make him want to do that? Think about it. All this stuff you're thinking about, yet he still ends up in a body of water with pristine socks on. Meaning, from the time when he walked out of that place, he had on all his clothes, including his shoes. So, depending on where he was after the shoes came off, it was totally out of his control. There was nothing he could do at that point. Because if you can literally walk from where he was to a body of water without getting your socks dirty, motherfucker, you damn ass good. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You are good as fuck. But we know that ain't the case. He ain't, Chris Angel or David Blaine or even David Copperfield, two of my favorites. Can do some amazing things. Woo! Anyway, so I'm just saying, when you iron out all the differences, you pick at the logic, make sense out of that to see if there's any connections with all of the other stuff that says what happened to this man or how he was found. So you throw all that stuff out. None of the logic that you could think about matters at this point. Then you start thinking about other stuff. You start saying to yourself, okay, so since that ain't got nothing to do with this, what else could it be? In the video, it shows that he was walking out of the stadium or wherever it was he was at, walking out of there, fully clothed, hat, shirt, pants, shoes. And then you think about him being found in a body of water with no shoes on and pristine socks. You think about all the other stuff too. He was in all of that in the video. So somewhere after he was out of range of the video, he took his socks and he took his shoes off and walked all the way to a body of water, dove in, and drowned himself. But you gotta think about it. How in the hell did he get from point A to point B without dirtying his socks up? The ground is littered with all kinds of dust, dirt, grime, nasty behind water that bugs been walking in and birds been pissing and shitting in, all kinds of stuff. All that stuff getting on your socks. If you walking from point A to point B, which would be the water where you died, yet your socks are pristine, clean. So either you took your socks off and found some remarkable way to transport yourself from a street to some water, you're damn good. That's all I can say. But you messed up when you ended up drowning. So I'm starting to think that none of that travel from that point to the water was under his control. You can't walk all the way to a body of water a mile away without getting your socks dirty. Even if you walked halfway and then took your shoes off, you'd still be putting your feet in some dirt somehow, some way. The world ain't that clean, even in California. Okay? Not gonna happen. So like I said, when you get rid of all of that, and the only thing you can think of after the logic has been taken away, once again, you start thinking, okay, so now if that won't fit, what was it? Wait a minute. I got it. Somebody picked him up off the ground and carried him to this body of water. Now, here's the crazy part. He's been missing for 4 days. So, for 4 days, yeah, I know it ain't going to take you 4 days to walk from where he was to, well, maybe a day at the most. Walk, you know, if you go to your GPS and there's that little walk icon there, you tap on it and it tells you how long it'll take for you to get from point to point. It'll say about maybe 8 hours or something like that. Maybe even a day, depending on where you're going. 4 days, I don't think I've seen that. Because, like I said, it depends on where you're going. So, I'm just saying, you know, something picked him up off the ground, went up, and carried him across the land and dropped that young man right in the water. But 4 to 5 days later, think about it. So he was being held somewhere. Where the hell was he at those 4 days? What was he doing? Who had him? What had him is more like it. Was it an interdimensional being? Could have been, but it was the one called the Dark Ones. Those beings, like this, the flesh, the bone, the blood, the muscle, all that stuff, all that good stuff. But the body was found, so that means it didn't get eaten. But something caused him to die. It couldn't have been just drowning. I bet there's a lot more to this story though. Because if you was in a body of water, but you were gone for 4 to 5 days, how is it? Now they didn't ever mention how long he been in the water either. They just said he was found in a body of water. They didn't mention how long. So you know that for him to be gone the amount of days, and then if they look at the toxicology report and it's showing that you've only been in the water for like maybe a day, maybe 2. So you've been gone for 4 days. You were found the 5th day. So I would imagine the 5th day, maybe, or basically the day you were found, the day he was found. That's when they placed his body in the water. The question is who or what? Something picked him up, was strong enough to pick him up, carry him where they needed to carry him, do what they needed to do, whatever that was, finish with it, or with him, then carry him to a body of water. Take his shoes off, drop him in a body of water, and be on your merry way. No footprints, no fingerprints, no nothing. So whatever they was able to do, they was able to do it without leaving behind any evidence whatsoever, which is the part that really creeps me out, because a human can't even do that without leaving something behind. Hair samples, follicles that may come from your scalp, you never know. Skin from your beard, because you know when men they scratch, they get little particles of skin start to flake off, and then they start floating in the air and stuff like that. You never know what it could be. It could be anything. But like I said, humans leave evidence all the time, and it could be the one thing that you never thought would lead back to you, like a hamburger wrapper. You never know. It could have your DNA in it because maybe you didn't finish the hamburger. You know, maybe saliva on it. which is a very smart thing to think about. So you got to be careful. And these beings or whatever, they got to be being very careful, because obviously they think like a human. They have the intelligence of a human, but they think on a higher level to where they can outsmart a human. You know, they study us. They look at how we live. They look at how we think. They look at how we do our thing. Because half of them walk among us anyway. They're probably standing right next to us half the time, just constantly just taking notes about how people do, humans alone. Then they do something really creepy and crazy and mind-boggling all at the same time. They put somebody somewhere after they done what they had to do with them without leaving the cause of death, which is to us humanly impossible. And then you put them in a place where it don't make no sense, because first of all, it shows that they only been in the water for like maybe a day, but you've been gone 4 days. So that means you were somewhere else for like 3 or 4 days. Humans don't do stuff like that. They're not smart enough. I'm not saying they're not smart enough. They may be, I don't know, but they have never done it enough to say, oh, well, I did this. They never admitted to that. They never said that, okay, this is what I did to hide the body. All they want to do, kill you and get rid of the evidence and get going. This stuff is way too elaborate. It's showing that they do have the ability to do all this extra stuff and still never get caught doing it. I bet you any criminal on the planet will love to do something like that, but they can't. Just not within our genes to do it as humans. It isn't. It is not in it. But anyway, kind of trailed off there, but a lot of the stuff still connects with all this here. Anyway, you know how deep I can get sometimes. Let me see. Stephen King, I read that part. Now, his family said Powers was an Army veteran, and the definition of reliable. Okay, no, I'm thinking about Mr. Reliable. That's the guy that David Paulides always talked about in the past on Coast to Coast AM. So another Mr. Reliable, huh? Cool. All right. They don't understand what happened or how he ended up in the Alviso Marina after a fisherman found his body in the water on Saturday. Very mind-boggling, for sure. Powers worked at Hot Start in Spokane, Washington, where the CEO of the company, Terry Judge, said in a statement, "Our hearts are very heavy as we grieve. It is hard to imagine not having him here. He was very friendly, talented, dependable, and fun to be around. We will miss him very much." Yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah, I mean, when somebody that you've known for a very long time to be the kind of person that you are, friendly, just all around happy person, never caused a problem, intelligent, does all kinds of things, and then all of a sudden they're gone somehow, some way. They can't be explained. That's the part that gets you the most. It's bad enough that the person is actually dead, but when they can't find a reason why they died, no matter what they do, never finding a cause of death. Think about it. Not one of these deaths that David Paulides put out there showed a cause of death. And if they did, it's only because the coroners couldn't find a cause of death. So what do? They say, oh, it was accidental drowning, or it was suicide, or it was accident this, accident that, or they fell off a cliff. There was one person I heard about. They said when they were found at the bottom of a cliff, the body was too far away from the ledge for them to have fallen straight down. So that means that somebody had to, or something had to have thrown this woman's body. Because think about it. If you fall off a cliff, you're going straight down. You're not going to glide and land 100 feet away from a cliff. Because they said that when they found her, her brains were scattered all over the doggone rocky floor. So think about it. How can a person get from point A to point B without help? Especially after the findings. Pristine socks. Obviously, if you know he had pristine socks on, that means he didn't have his shoes on. If he had his shoes on, it would cover it, but it would still probably get a little dirty, because if it was in the water, all that residue is gonna seep into it. I know, I've been through it when I was walking through water like that when I was a kid. The debris inside, it may be like those little wood chips, or those mulch chips that you find. They be all in the water or whatever. Maybe a twig may get in your shoe while you're walking. Because in New Jersey we had a big old flood that stretched all the way out to the main street, and we literally had to walk across the street from path mark, waist deep, in this water. And then when I got home, I had all kinds of stuff in my shoes. So it is possible for that to happen. So your socks would still get dirty. You still have tiny little debris on it, from whatever else that was in there, But with him, pristine, nothing. So he had to been placed there recently by something, not someone. Because, first of all, they never talked about footprints. They just said he was found dead in a body of water. Think about it. They never mentioned that part. They never even mentioned the fact that he was standing at the edge of the water and he just jumped in. They just said, the body of such and such person was found in a body of water. You can't get logic with something that weird. No matter how many times you try to break apart the pieces and put them back together the way that you want to, so that you can figure out a logical way of how this all happened. That's not going to work, because the story is already too weird. It ain't making no sense. So you got to find an answer that wouldn't make sense to someone, but will make sense to the questions that are being asked about how all of this happened in the first place. That's what I do, my friends. That's why I'm here. To break down the walls, the blockage that can keep you from seeing past all of this logical stuff when you're dealing with cases like this. You got to look at all sides. I'm a three-dimensional thinker. I do that every single day. People at my job look at me like I'm crazy because I be thinking like that. I think in a way that they can't seem to get, but yet I always seem to get the job done every time. Because people are trained to think a certain way by this programming that has been put in place for all of us to be born right into. The programming is actually a reality. A reality so real that we don't realize that it's a veil covering up the true information that we need to know, which is what I am giving you about all of this stuff. If you want to know the answer, you got to think three-dimensionally. You got to think outside the box. You got to think freely without the help of false knowledge, which is all the stuff that you already think you know about all this. I'm just saying. That's how I get so far with the stuff that I've experienced and have done. Like I said, I'm not saying that you couldn't have figured that out on your own. I'm not saying you probably haven't already figured it out, because this is just like that, all the other stories. So this is a fresh one. This just happened a couple of days ago. And it's the same exact one. Different person, but the same exact death. You're leaving an establishment where you met somebody at, you're around a group of people, and then you just walk off. You say you're going to the bathroom. Every single time a person is out and about with some friends, they say a number of things. I'm not feeling too well. I'm gonna go home. When you driving? No, I'm good. I'm gonna walk home. Or I'm tired. Or I'm nauseous. I feel real sick. But this guy said he was going to the bathroom. This is a new one. The crazy part about that is that a lot of people go to the bathroom and never come back. Like that woman who had a daughter with Down syndrome. I believe it was the daughter that went inside, and the mother was waiting, No. The mother went inside the bathroom. Yes, the mother went inside the bathroom. The daughter was outside. When the mother finished doing what she had to do, she came outside and her daughter was gone. She thought maybe she got tired of waiting and went back to the cabin where her father was. When she got there, she was not there. And it's amazing how you can be out in the open where you know people are gonna be seen. They're gonna see her, yet nobody saw you vanish without a trace in thin air. Nobody saw that. You standing next to your daughter. You walk inside to go to the bathroom. When you come out, she's gone. You try to find out what reason would make her want to just walk off like that. And then when you walk off, within a few minutes, you vanish off the face of the earth. How is it that you disappear into nothing within a few minutes of you being in the bathroom taking a piss? How is that possible? You were standing right here. I was in there taking a piss. It only took no more than like maybe 5 to 10 seconds, depending on how much soda I done had. Remember, they're walking in the park, so they probably had something to drink, maybe a lot of water. So depending on how long it took for her to let it all out, and then come back outside, which I'd say about 10 seconds tops, she was gone. And you literally vanished off the face of the earth within 10 seconds. How? Can you think logically about that? I don't think so. If you try to say that, well, maybe she was dragged away by somebody who had those little smelling salt to put on her nose and she passed out and they drug her away. Think about it. If they drug her away, there'd be signs of that on the ground. Like you see these little trails of someone's feet being dragged off somewhere. Now, if he was smart, he'd have like some sort of big feather or whatever, something to kind of mess up the track so it'll look like he. But see, here's the crazy part about that. If he did that, they won't be following the trail of the feet being dragged. They'll follow the trail of him trying to get rid of it, and they can follow the pattern that will lead to where he dragged the body. So you gotta think outside the box in order for you to still find your way to what happened. But with this, there ain't none of that going on. None. Because it only shows a couple of things. You went somewhere, you left somewhere, and you ended up dead in the body of water. There's too many gaps. The question is, what were you doing between the point where you left out of the establishment and the next thing you know, end up in a body of water, dead? That's the main question. What was this young man doing? Or what was these things doing to him for him to end up dead without a cause of death, other than the fact that he drowned in the body of water because he was found in the body of water? That's the only logical way to even explain how he died. Oh, they'll say, well, he was found with pristine socks, but it was an accidental drowning. Really? How is it that you were able to get from point A to point B with pristine socks on? Well, you gotta get right to the edge of the water, take your shoes off, and just dived in and just said, oh, I'm taking my life away. So I'm gonna just let the water rush into my mouth and just drown myself. I'm just saying. You think about all these things, you be trying to figure this stuff out. You be trying to figure out what could have made him want to do that. But it still don't make no sense, because it makes no sense how he can go from point A to point B without getting his socks dirty. That means his travel was not under his control, under his power. That means something picked him up and put him there. But he was gone for 4 days. So you mean they kept him in the air for 4 days and then dropped him off in the water? Question is, if I bet you, like I said before, not the toxicology report, but the coroner's report will show that he was gone for 4 days, but he was probably only in the water for maybe a couple of hours. Some would say, like, let's just say you were missing for like 10 days, but you was only in the water for like 3. That makes you wonder, where were you at for the rest of those other days? So if you was missing for 4 days, and you were found on the 5th day, where were you for them 4 days? Because obviously something dropped you there very recently, like say within a couple of hours. It's just like when people are out there looking for someone that went missing in the mountains. They check one certain spot maybe 50 times throughout their entire search. When they come back and search that same area the 51st time, there they are. How is it that we search this one area all this time and then all of a sudden, poof, we check it out the 51st time and you're here? They never even divulged the answer itself. Maybe they didn't know, or maybe they told a very harrowing tale. Who knows? So many questions. So many questions. Do I have the answers? Maybe. Are you willing to accept the answer? Let your mind go beyond your usual way of thinking? I hope so, because that is the only way you're going to be able to solve any of these answers. All the whys and the hows can be answered if you just stop thinking the way society or the world wants you to think. Get past the programming. Realize that the stuff that they're trying to hide is real. Don't say it's got to be real because they don't want nobody to know about it. Just say it. Just say it's real. Believe that it's real. Don't worry about them. They know that it's real, but they're being told by the ones in power to say that it isn't. To keep everybody from finding out the actual truth. And the actual truth will be a truth that you would never believe in your life. I can guarantee you that. And no, I can't tell you. You wouldn't believe me anyway. But anyway, so the whole point is, like I said, you got to get away from that way of thinking. It's the only way you're going to be able to believe anything I tell you. It's just like with the naysayers that be on my channel. You know, the one, what do you call them? The trolls. You know, they say, oh, you're crazy. And then they mock the woman who went to Brown Mountain National Park. I'm not mad about it. And I'm not. I just, you know, if I got something on my mind, I got to say it. I got to share it with you guys. Okay? And these are words of knowledge. Okay? Words of wisdom as well. Words of knowledge. Okay? I felt it. I needed to share it with you guys. I told you before that I meditate a lot. Sometimes maybe a couple of hours. So, and then when my brain starts to surge and my body starts to tingle from my inner being, I just feel so connected to everything around me, and I just get it, and it starts to make sense. You can learn how to do that too. I can show you. I can tell you. Just let me know. If you want to know. It'll work once you practice enough. But anyway, so, but yeah, with this story here, I can definitely tell you that something went wrong. Something that most would not be able to explain. Unless you are able to look past what is being shown to you. What you're being shown is a veil of what truly happened. They are doing it in ways that will confuse you so that you won't figure out why they did it, how they did it. How is it that you can kill someone without leaving a cause of death? No puncture wounds, no stab wounds, no burn marks, no bullet holes, no disembowelment, none of that. No gouging out the eyeballs or taking away the heart, none of that stuff. You just dead. Literally, it's like the life was just literally sucked out of them. You know, and there was a story that came out about this really old. It was a really old story, like black and white story, and it was about these beings that were in this area, like in a grassy area, and they said they had to do something before a certain time, and when they were found dead. But it was the way everything went down up until when they was found dead, and it kind of almost explained how people were being found. And this is on the episode of Secure Team 10. He posted this video. They sent him that story, and it made a lot of sense as to what causes these people to die the way they do, because it says something about them taking a pill that would literally kill them and leave no evidence of how they died. So maybe I'm thinking that these dark ones, they have some sort of pill that only affects humans in our nervous system or whatever. They put it down our throat, and it kills us from the inside out. And whatever caused that part of you to just die it evaporates out of existence. You can't find the reason why. So I would think it's something that they're putting in their system that causes them to die the way they do without leaving a cause of death, and it takes the cause with it. I don't know. I'm just grasping at straws here, thinking of different things, because like I told you, if you want to answer a very weird question, the only way you can answer it is with a weird answer. Stop trying to put logic in front of something that sounds weird enough for you to say maybe. The minute you say maybe, you already know that it's not making any sense. So you try to come up with something that would make sense in order for you to describe what the heck is going on. But you can't do that. Don't try to make sense out of it. Hear it, look at it, and just go with it. Just describe what the scene is showing you. That's the best way to do it. Stamp out the labels, stamp out the definition, stamp out the word that calls out what it is. Don't do that. Okay? Get rid of everything that would already tell you what you think it is, and just go with what the scene is showing you. Okay, you go back, and you go back and listen to what I said about how he could have been found dead in a body of water with pristine socks. There's no way for him to even do that without getting his socks dirty. Walking from a club or a stadium to a body of water, that means he would have to go through a patch of woods. I'm talking leaves, debris, all kinds of debris, you name it, is on that ground. And you're going to find that evidence on his socks before he even hit the water. Right? Thank you. Even if he didn't, if he walked all the way around to the body of water on a sidewalk, if that was even possible, or across a bridge, your feet still going to get dirty. So, I'm just saying, you get rid of every logical reason why his feet wouldn't be dirty for him to walk a mile or so from a stadium bathroom to a body of water. The mathematics don't add up. They just don't. It's impossible. So that means what? He was carried there. By who? Not a human. So that means by what? That is the question. Maybe it was one of the grays. The good ones. The interdimensional beings that are actually here to help us. But that can't be it, because if that was the case, he wouldn't be dead, right? Of course. So that leaves the dark ones. They don't care about humans. They hate us. They think we're inferior. As a matter of fact, the reason why, okay, I won't even say they're the good ones or the bad ones. They just know. But the reason why astronauts can't see the stars from where they are, or us when we're looking at it from some sort of feed from NASA, is because of a quarantine bubble that these grays put around the planet. Now, there's a video on YouTube that talks about this same bubble, but they call it like a metal cage like thing that is circling the planet, or not circling, but built around the planet. And they're taking credit. The government is taking credit for doing that for safety reasons, I would imagine, but that's not the case. The reason why the interdimensional beings put a quarantine bubble around the planet is because they saw what happened after they dropped the atom bomb in the desert, which of course was given to them by none other than Albert Einstein. He has said that he regretted giving the world the atom bomb, but apparently you didn't know that before you actually gave it to him. So if you knew that, you would have known not to in the first place. I guess you just wanted to be famous, get your accolades as a scientist. I don't know. He's a very, very well-respected scientist, even now. So that's just my opinion. But anyway, that, my friends, is my hypothesis on everything. Can you dig it? I hope so. This has been a very riveting conversation here, even though I'm the one talking. But I'm just saying, had fun. I just had to get that out there before Thanksgiving. Oh, and by the way, I didn't want to leave without doing this. I told you I got to tell you about this story. Okay, picture this. Young black man in, let me make sure. I think it's in New Orleans. Yeah, young black man in New Orleans. I'll set it up for you. He's coming from somewhere. He's really got to go to the bathroom. Maybe he took a laxative. Maybe he just had some chili or some spicy Mexican food. Stomach started rumbling. He had to drive to the nearest bathroom he can get to, which is probably the grocery store right up the street. He drives into there. The grocery store is all the way across the quad, so he has to drive all the way up there and try to find a parking spot. He finds one. He's holding it as much as he can. He's running into the grocery store. And I'm going to tell you, he's running into the grocery store. He's running to the right. And let's just say he's running, legs all up in the air, just like he's trotting. He got his hand right here, right on his, his little butt crack. And he's like, oh, I'm about to blow this motherfucker up. I'm about to blow the bathroom up, motherfucker. I'm just saying, if you're hearing this, oh, I'm about to blow this bathroom up, man. Ooh, woo, shoot. You run in the bathroom, get to the toilet, and next thing you know, you hear it. Oh, jeez. All of a sudden, all they heard was, I am going to blow up the bathroom. This is a young black man. Kind of reminds you of Coolio from the image. I'll put that on my thing. On the thumbnail. You see what I'm talking about. So that's all they heard was, I'm going to blow up the bathroom. Next thing you know, he gets arrested. His answer to their question as to why you threatened to blow up the bathroom, it's funny. He said his threat to blow up the bathroom had nothing to do with the bomb. Yeah, he was about to blow up the bathroom, all right, with that stank from him having to get on the toilet. That's what that meant. But whatever establishment he was in, they were scared when they heard that. So I'm about to blow up the bathroom. It's a possibility that he was running or sprinting into the building trying to get to the bathroom, saying, oh, I'm about to blow this bathroom up. Boy. Woo, shoot. Now, listening to the tone of his voice and actually seeing him running in there, but maybe some people didn't realize he was the one doing all the talking. But if you see a man running into the bathroom, you hear those words, it would click to me personally, because if I had to go to the bathroom that bad, I'd be saying the same thing. I would hope they wouldn't think that's what I meant. But if you see me running into the bathroom, think about it. Why would he be running like he had to really go? Now, I'm pretty sure some of y'all had to really go. And y'all probably ran into the bathroom too. I don't know if you said anything in the process of that, but maybe you did. You said, ooh, man, I got to go. Ooh, man, somebody better get out my way. I'm gonna knock their ass down. Ooh, I got to go. You can say some crazy stuff if you really got to go. Trust me, I've been there. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty at all. Anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, like I was saying, I wanted to tell you guys that because the guy got arrested for that one little incident. All because he really had to go to the bathroom. And I mean really, like sprinting like he was on the track team. You know? And somehow they got him needing to get on the toilet mixed up with him trying to blow up the bathroom with his stinking bathroom use, if you know what I mean. I'm trying not to say it. But anyway, guys, I really had a good time tonight. I want to get this video out because, you know, as you know, tomorrow is Thanksgiving turkey time. And I'm talking ham, mac and cheese, collard greens, ham, mac and cheese, turkey, cranberry sauce, yellow rice, gravy, sweet potato pie, made the right way. I love it. My mom got this sweet potato pie that's so good. Oh my God, make you want to slap your mama. But I'm not going to do that because she's the one cooking. I need my food. Anyway, but yeah, guys, I just want to say have a very tasteful and happy Thanksgiving. And if I don't see you before Christmas, I want all of your Christmases to be bright. Have a merry one. And don't get crazy with the present because you know how it is. Where I'm at, there's one road that leads to a place called the mall. Well, Mall of Georgia. It be packed. I mean, from all the way to the highway, packed. People getting off the highway to get on this road just to get to that freaking mall. And let's just say, looking at this, the length of this screen, let's just say way over here is the highway. And way over here is the mall. Now stretch that out a couple of miles. I'd say about maybe, I know it's not a mile, it's about maybe 4 miles from the highway. It's crazy. So, like I said, either way, have a very great Thanksgiving with your family. I know I will with mine. And like I said, if I don't post a video before Christmas, have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy whatever else. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it because, you know, when I get excited about it, I just got to put it up there. I had to put that funny story in there too. But I really had to talk about this guy because I wanted to open up some more windows on how he may have disappeared, so that people won't be thinking in one direction. That's the only way this is going to be able to be solved. You have to stop thinking in one direction. Open up your mind and think in so many other directions that you will still come to a conclusion as to why this person disappeared. It will solve it. It may sound weird, but it will be the only way you can solve a question that was vexed by a very strange and weird scene of someone's death. I hope you're getting what I'm saying here. So, anyway, I know you did. If you didn't, oh well. Just keep listening to the video and try to think. And get back with me. Hit me up in the comment section. And if you need some questions answered, what you think I think may have happened, I will gladly give you some viewpoints so that you can find other ways to figure this crap out. So, without further ado, like I always do each time, is end the video this way. Aloha, mahalo, and hui-ho. Peace out, brother, and peace out, sister. Or should I say, wahine. Yeah, manuhune and wahine. Alright, here we go. Hand breath. Anyway. See you guys later. Love you.